my place, and I am welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday service this week on this gorgeous and wet fall autumn day. It's October the 4th, and today I am excited to announce that we have Sheila Mayer, licensed Unity teacher, with us, and she's going to be talking to us today about how autumn celebrates harvest at the same time as it reveals the wonders and beauty of endings and letting go at the end of a growing season. And I don't know about you guys, but letting go is not always easy to do, especially in the face of uncertainty. And Sheila is going to speak to us about how nature shows us how to do exactly that. So I am so looking forward to this. It is perfect timing. And to start our service, we have Daniel Namod singing, God, You Are.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Yes, everything is God. So if we can get comfortable in our seats as we begin the invocation and start the process of letting go right here, right now, allowing ourselves to be fully present to the one life God's life, whole, perfect, and complete. And we do that by taking a nice deep breath in and then releasing that breath, allowing our bodies to relax, let go, surrender. Because it is in surrendering and letting go that we transform, that we begin to really fully embody love and wholeness as life unfolds, rearranging itself for our higher good. We are made of this God stuff. It's the substance and foundation of our being. It creates, acts, and unfolds in and around each one of us. We are made anew by it in every single moment of our lives. We are expressions and instruments of God, inseparable from divine activity. We live and have our being within the One. From this understanding, we speak for and about ourselves and all of life. Boundless potential is right where we are, right now, right here. And we welcome a configuring of our lives with deeper trust in the unlimited expression of good, in ways known and unknown, seen and unseen, infinite intelligence and creativity live as each one of us, and we claim a growing awareness of our intuition as it informs and guides us through change and transformation, both internal and external. We recognize a willingness to make friends with the unknown. We allow ourselves to abide in a place with the familiar and the unknown, letting go of the past and trusting in God's wisdom and unfolding action that creates our lives anew in each and every moment, absolutely perfectly. With a grateful heart, we rest in this spiritual truth, knowing it is already done in the mind of God, and so it is. Amen. Unity York Region, we have a vision, and that vision is shared with Unity Worldwide Ministries. And if we can affirm that vision together, if you can repeat with me, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And we embody this vision through our mission. And the mission for our group, for Unity York Region, is we are a vibrant, thriving, spiritual community serving the world by embodying unity principles of higher consciousness. And the affirmation that ties our vision and mission together, if we can affirm this: God is, I am, we are together transforming the world. I think that's the perfect affirmation. I don't know about you. Now, Unity is an inclusive community. We bless and embrace and welcome everyone from every race, lifestyle, culture, and creed. And we have a prayer project, which is praying with Unity Centers across Canada. And during the month of October, the entire Canadian Unity movement affirms prosperity, peace, and harmony for these Unity Centers. And that's Unity Church of Mississauga and Unity of Barrie study group. Some of you are on the Zoom call right now. So we say yes to prosperity, peace, and harmony for these groups. And today we have, and now we have the daily word, and the daily word for today is fearless. Now, Doreen, I was going to ask you to read the daily word for today, if you're available, and you can unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone. Today's daily word is fearless. I am fearless as I live authentically. In the past, I may have hidden my inner light, afraid to be myself. I may have tried to please others by conforming to someone else's idea of who I should be. I may have shrunk from an aspiration, fearing that I would fail in the pursuit of my goal. I may have doubted the divine perfection at the core of my spiritual self, identifying with my perceived flaws and feeling small and inadequate. Today, I make a new choice. I choose to live fearlessly, drawing upon my faith to believe in myself, my imagination to envision my best life, and my understanding to know my divinity. Bold and brave, I am fearless as I live my life authentically, pursue my dreams, and express my divine nature. And from Deuteronomy 31:6, be strong and bold, have no fear or dread, because it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not fail you or forsake you.
Thank you, Doreen. If we can repeat actually the affirmation together. I am fearless as I live authentically. And for those of you who might be watching this who are not familiar with the Daily Word, it's a daily publication. Every day there's an affirmation with a positive message. I know for a lot of Unity people, we start our day with it. You can get it in your inbox, sent to you every day. You just sign up online, just Google Daily Word, Unity Daily Word, and you can subscribe that way. Or you can have the book. It's printed for every 2 months, and you can read the message every day right out of the book. So there's also an app, I believe, as well. Unity York Region, we have a prayer program, and it is definitely alive and well. We've been busy and blessed to be able to pray for you over the last, actually always, but especially over the last few weeks. We've been a couple weeks, we've been pretty busy, and thank you for reaching out to us. The prayer chaplains are happy and would love to pray with you. You can contact us. You can send a prayer request to the email online on the left of the screen, as well as the telephone number where you can leave a message and leave your prayer request there. You can also call Silent Unity. We do send your prayer requests down to Silent Unity where they get prayed on 24/7. And you can call them directly 24/7. The phone number is 1-800-NOW-PRAY. And there's always someone there available to answer the call and your prayer request. Next, we have I am ready, willing, and worthy.
I'm ready, willing, and worthy to open my heart and receive all of the heavenly blessings there for me when I believe. I'm ready, willing, and worthy, and that's all I have to be. 'Cause when I'm ready, willing, and worthy, God is able to bless me. Once there was a poor man who lived a godly life, now stood before his maker, asking why he'd been passed by. He was then led to a storeroom full that's all I have to be. 'Cause when I'm ready, willing and worthy, God is able to bless me. Long ago, a young man asked his father for his share. And though he spent it loosely, when he came home, more was there. His brother became angry, thinking he was not so loved. But at any time he could have had what he felt worthy of. So I'm ready, willing and worthy to open my heart and receive all of the heavenly blessings there for me when I believe. I'm ready, willing and worthy, and that's all I have to be. 'Cause when I'm ready, willing and worthy, God is able to bless me. I'm ready, willing and worthy to open my heart and receive all of the heavenly blessings there for me when I believe. I'm ready, willing and worthy, and that's all I have to be. 'Cause when I'm ready, willing and worthy, God is able to bless me. When I'm ready, willing and worthy, God is able to bless me.
Yes, God is. And now our announcements. So this week we are continuing our study of Brené Brown's Daring Greatly. And last week we were discussing chapter 3, which is about shame, you know, what it is and how to overcome it, how men and women experience shame differently. And so it was a meaty chapter. So we're continuing that discussion this week. And you don't need to have the book. The topic, and there are quotes used from the book that Debbie uses to lead the discussion, and it's something that we can all participate in and benefit from. So you don't need to have the book, just join us, be a part of the conversation, and we would love to see you there. That's this Thursday, October the 8th at 7:30, and link in our email. If you're not a subscriber, please go onto our website and subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll have access to all the classes and services. Next week, for our Sunday service, we have Reverend Irene Anton, and she'll be speaking about a Thanksgiving meeting for Grumblers Anonymous. I love the title. So grumbling and complaining is a common human way to cope with disappointments and difficult life circumstances. I don't know about you, not me. It may bring temporary satisfaction and a feeling of self-righteousness, but it tends to rob us of joy. Yes, it does. And so to shift our consciousness, we may need to join Grumblers Anonymous and attend a Thanksgiving meeting. I love it, and I look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing you all there as well. Next, we have Daniel Namaud's Here Goes Nothing, which will be followed by Sheila Mayer and her talk, A Reason for the Season.
I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing, I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything, it's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy, some say naive to close my eyes and take the lead. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual game, oh, my answer is always the same. Here goes nothing, I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything, it's all on the line. No, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing, I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything, it's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time, 'cause I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way.
Yeah,
And
we
good
have Sheila.
morning. And I'm afraid that I can't share my screen at the moment. Is there any chance you can allow me to do that or help me share my screen?
It's on, Sheila. You're sharing it.
Oh, cool. Right on. So can I just confirm, can you see my slides?
They just went away.
Did they come back?
Yes. Start your
Okay.
slideshow.
Okay. So
Good.
now they're going?
Yep, good to go.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And thank you for the feedback to let me know. So the reason for this season and how our opportunities to let go and how nature shows us what it is. And just that moment of sawabona to connect with you heart to heart and mind to mind across space and time to make this time sacred together. Unity Worldwide Ministries theme for the year is seeing through a spiritual lens. And for October, that's acknowledging that nature's beauty reflects in as our true nature is the beauty within us. And for me, the reason for the season really boils down to, and it took a long time to boil so much into a couple of words, but it really is about integration and wholeness. So nothing has any meaning but the meaning we give it, A Course in Miracles. And so my invitation is to make this holy season, this holy 40-day season of Halloween and Thanksgiving, mean whatever it does to you that's rich and meaningful. Give it a meaning that works for you. And consider that what I'm offering today is like a buffet, and you can just pick and choose whatever you want. And know that you can't do it all. Full disclosure, my mission is to reclaim the sacredness of Thanksgiving and the holy Halloween season. So my enthusiasm runneth over, and I'll try not to bury you in it. So I encourage the knowing and the questioning of beliefs. And this is the opportunity just to question where we're at and know what we believe and know and make the meanings that really, really, truly work for us. And take the opportunity or make the opportunity to heal and grow. So what are the big mysteries of life? And man, it's amazing how they're all summed up on a tombstone. Who are we? You know, the name that we're experiencing through this life, our birth date, the mystery of birth and coming into life, and the mysteries of death and endings and closures. And then that dash in between, which is the mission and purpose and what we live in between those two dates, so that we can rest in peace, so that we can get a good night's sleep, so that we can know we've lived a good life and feel confident in that. So spiritual experiences in our more or less secular society, when people are asked, you know, have you ever had a spiritual experience? The two most commonly cited experiences are around birth, you know, when you've held your child for the first time or held a newborn, or around death, that being present to someone's dying. So the three big 40-day holy day seasons, and again, regardless of which ones you celebrate, the ones that I'm focusing on tend to be the Christian and the secular, just because that's where a lot of us are, and it's also the roots of unity. So 40 is as long as it takes. And the reason for that is it is a spiritual process, and the spiritual process goes beyond space and time. So it takes as long as it takes, and learning to be gentle with ourselves in accepting that as long as it takes answer to whatever spiritual process that we're going through. So Advent and Christmas and Epiphany are all about the birth process, the birth of the Christ light. Lent and Easter about coming into and discovering our mission through Lent and crossing error thinking to transform and resurrect into the fullness of who and what we are and what we're living. And then we come to harvest, to All Souls Day or Halloween or whatever you want to, or Samhain or whatever you want to call that holy day at the end of the season. And whether you consider harvest equinox at the beginning of fall, or whether you go from the 1st of October to American Thanksgiving, doesn't really matter. Whatever your, in quotation, 40 days is, totally works. It's really about doing the forgiveness, healing, letting go, facing our fear, shadow work, that whole body of of everything. So let's look at equinox. An equinox is what I consider that first day of that 40 days. And it's really that mental shift into fall, which is letting go of summer and the fullness of summer. And a dynamic balance, being a recognition that nature doesn't do balance as in static, as in this equals this and there's no movement. Nature does balance as in a back and forth, like polarity, inhale and exhale, shifting from from breathing, inhale and exhale, or rest and activity. It's not about, meeting in the middle and in a balance of pinpoint accuracy. It's about balancing back and forth, going back and forth. If you look at population dynamics between prey and predators, the population of one will get large and then it will diminish as the population of the other gets larger. And it goes back and forth in that dynamic balance. So polarities and dualities. And when we manage our polarities, suddenly we're not jerked around by what's happening externally. We're able to go with the flow. We're able to be in sync with the energies that are flowing around us. And this can mean letting go. And again, letting go isn't always the easy part, but it's very healthy. So polarities, looking at them, doing and being, balancing the doingness and beingness. And you can think of this as the doingness of the growing and the moving forward and the activity of summer. You can think of that shift into the beingness of fall and winter, where we take the respite, we take the break from work to come into a time of rejuvenation. We go from the great inhaling to the releasing and letting go, the exhaling. Balancing exercise with rest. Looking at where we are in terms of in-reach and outreach, or, reaching out and helping others versus looking after our self-care, and where we are in that balance. Balancing our work and play. Again, it's a one and then the other and back and forth. It's not a fixed point in the middle. Tradition and innovation. We're having to let go of, or come to terms with, what we can hang on to and what we can let go of. Recognizing when it's time to hold on to something and when it's time to let go. Having normal ripped out from under us has called this question into our focus in a large way. And this season of equinox is a great time to sort that through and decide where we need to hang on to and where we need to let go. A sailboat tacks back and forth to stay on track. And so you pick your goal or your destination, and recognize that you're not always on track. It's, going in this direction until you realize you need to swing back and come the other direction. So it's about tacking back and forth. So this is speaking to that dynamic balance. And recognizing that a balance doesn't mean the same. Sometimes it's about the fulcrum moving, a large feather and a small lead weight, when balanced by the right fulcrum, can come into balance. If you look at a mobile, it's about where you place the fulcrum that determines where things are in balance. So there's lots of ways of bringing things into balance, and looking at the different aspects of our life to decide, what would it take to bring my life into balance, is a wonderful question to bring into this season. Taking back the night. The media has done such a great job of taking over the night and handing it over to horror and the macabre and fear, and the opportunity to take back the night into a time of rest and letting go of distraction and going inside and letting go of fear, to letting go of the brightness of the day and the things that are yelling in our face, to see the stars that were always there, that are subtle. But if we take the time to do that, suddenly our whole universe expands. And ways to take back the night: you can go for a walk. You can stare at the moon, or you can meditate on the stars. You can learn about bats. You can just look into the night and see how, the outward things that were so important during the day can all of a sudden take on a different level of importance. And so just feeling into what that is, and to reclaiming the peace and reclaiming the quiet, the darkness of the night. And sit by a campfire. Celebrating autumn. And again, going for that walk and just being present to what nature is telling us at this time. The trees are showing us how to let go of what no longer serves. As photosynthesis shuts down and we see the beauty that was hidden underneath all that hard work, we can become aware of it, and we can take it in, and we can learn how to and observe how to let go of what no longer serves us. And notice that some of the plants let go with grace and ease, and some of them go down fighting, and some of them hang on. A beech tree will hang on to the leaves until, March. And just see what that looks like, and see the lessons that are in it for you. There's so much there. Cleaning up our garden, and not just cleaning up your physical garden, but cleaning up our metaphysical garden. So Jesus talked about pruning grapevines and cutting away what no longer serves. He also talked about separating the wheat from the chaff. So sorting out what is serving us well and what's not serving us well, and letting go of the one when it's time for the harvest. So whatever cleaning up your garden means, and it may mean decluttering, it may mean shifting to your winter clothes. It may mean cutting down what is died. Again, let go of what no longer serves. Turn the compost pile. That's and metaphysically, that's about, things that we've let go that we haven't totally let go of, that it's about doing whatever shadow work we need to do to retrieve the nutrients of the past without holding on to the rotted parts. So again, just as you're turning the compost, asking, Holy Spirit, what is it that needs to compost within me? And how do I facilitate that? What does that turning the compost look like for me? Perhaps it's cleaning up, an old to-do, or whatever. Preparing for winter in whatever way that looks. The squirrels are stashing and storing up. Perhaps looking into your cupboards and going, where is it that I'm riding on the edge, and where do I need to have a balance of stores going into winter. Harvest. Reaping our harvest. I don't know about you, but I am completely sure I'm not the only one that has done things both in the garden as well as other things where I've put all the work into it, except the part where I really take in and reap the fullness of a project that I've done. And maybe that's taking the time to celebrate it, or maybe that's taking the time to use it. Again, I don't think I'm the only person who has made a batch of pickles or made a ton of jelly and then found it 2 years later going, oh, I should have eaten that. So taking time to reap the harvest and appreciate the blessings that we have in our society, where we don't have to do all of the processing and storing of food. If you've spent all day making a batch of pickles, or can some tomatoes, and realize that for your entire day's work you've got about $20 worth of food, it gives you a deeper appreciation for what's given to us and what we can go buy in the grocery store. Celebrate the fullness of it. Preserve selectively. Don't feel you have to process and save and store and do something with every single apple that's under the tree. We were, at least I was, taught waste not, want not, and feel guilty leaving something to rot in the garden or letting it go. And the recognition that, nature, in quotation, wastes a lot. Just figuring out what that balance is and what the lessons are there for you. Perhaps it's about being more appreciative. Perhaps it's about making more use of what you have. Perhaps it's about letting go. Perhaps it's about sharing. Use it and share it. And then we come into Thanksgiving. And instead of counting calories, steps, and our dollars and all of those other things that society has us counting diligently, pounds or whatever, the encouragement here is to count our blessings. And this really speaks to the principle number 3, unity principle number 3, looking at what it means to be grateful. Recognize, and this is really a lifestyle. This is a way of seeing the world. Recognizing that, yes, your cup, your life is half full of substance, or a quarter full, or a third full, or whatever, and it's half full of air, or half full of potential, or a quarter, or a third, or whatever. Seeing that it's the combination of those two things that creates the great fullness. Recognizing that it's all good, and whatever we do with it is our choice. This is where our power comes, in living from our great fullness, of growing into our potential and recognizing the space that we have to grow. It can also be about recognizing when our cup runneth over, or when we are at that space of great full, where we become so full of substance, so full of stuff and busyness in our life, that we don't have the potential for growth unless we expand our cup, or let go of something. And maybe that's dropping something out of our schedule to make time for meditation. Maybe that's about taking time to make space for self-care. Recognizing that what full within us means, when we're so saturated that we can't, there's no point in sitting in on another Zoom call because we are saturated and full for the moment. It takes time to digest and do that. Maybe it's about expanding our cup, to question, and to live into what it is, maybe we don't have all the answers. Maybe there's something more we can learn, and being willing to live into that expanded cup. And maybe it's about sharing, pouring some out to someone else. And maybe that's sharing as in that over harvest that I was just talking about, or maybe it's sharing as in maybe delegating or asking for help in some of the things that have you too busy. Or maybe it's about deleting some of them. Appreciating. So the word appreciate means to increase worth. And it's a high frequency vibration that really is all about principle number 3. Anybody who's familiar with Abraham channeled through Esther Hicks will be familiar with the vortex. And the vortex is really about that quantum field of source energy that is the underlying substance potential that is within us all. And I love to think of the cornucopia, or the horn of plenty, as a representation of that vortex, and just recognizing that it is full of the blessings that are there, just like Daniel Nahmod was just singing about. Having that attitude of gratitude that grows and taps into and aligns with the frequency of our wholeness and our potential and our well-being. That aligning our frequency, dialing in. Recognizing that everything is created first in mind, and putting our thoughts and energy there rather than focusing on the external, which is sort of like something that's already been printed out. It's looking at the past, whereas looking into the mind, looking into what we're creating, is the now moment of which will be the energy of what comes next. The balance and polarity of giving and receiving is also about thanksgiving, sharing of our abundance, being in the flow and dynamic balance. Going into the hauntings and fear. This goes into our Halloween, the Halloween experience. And if you're doing the book Daring Greatly, boy, you are invited into your haunted house. And recognize that we all have a haunted house that, you know, has a big do not enter sign on it. And stepping past that to party on Halloween with all of your haunts and all of your fears, you know, looking into that and Sawabona, greeting each one with, hi, here you are. I recognize you. Thank you very much for showing up to the Halloween party. And, you know, what, maybe some of them are ones that you can lay to rest, or some of them you could be healed. It's really about that integration. When we reject the parts of us that we don't love or don't want, we cut ourselves off. We lose that wholeness that is principle number 1 of unity. Jesus taught the Beatitudes, which was all about calling back to wholeness, that embracing and healing the fracturing and healing the splintering that is within us. It's about, you know, taking the haunt out of the haunted house. UFOs, and those, I'm not referring to galactic family here or flying objects, I'm referring to unfinished objects. They drain our energy. Ghosts of regret, shame, blame, undead dreams. And when I say undead dreams, when we bury a dream, it doesn't die. It sits there as undead, waiting for us to come back to it and either decommit from it consciously and say, this is no longer what I dream, or else, you know, taking action on it or figuring out what we're going to do with it. You know, there's those tech zombies that haunt us and steal our life. All kinds of different haunts that can come up. And this is our opportunity to address them and deal with them. It's also an opportunity to deal with death. Spoiler alert, you too are going to die. And learning how to deal with death, make friends with it, address it. You know, we think we have plenty of time, and when we actually make friends with death, we start to recognize that we need to get on with our living. We need to get on with being what we've come here to do and be, live our dash. And with that motivation, and if we're living life to the fullest, we know that we can meet death at any time and be okay with it. Death is the opposite of birth, not the opposite of life. Life is eternal. So whatever it takes to make friends with death, and maybe that's sitting in journaling, maybe that's about writing out your eulogy and figuring out and having a look at it and reading and going, you know, is this the life I want to live, or what do I need to do to make those changes? Halloween, Samhain, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, all of these days are celebration and honoring of our ancestors and honoring the past. And while it's important to, you know, take the lessons and take the energy and take the blessings from the past, it's great to look in the rearview mirror, and we don't want to stare. Having a day dedicated to it, or having a week dedicated to it, means that you don't have to let it kind of drain at you all the time. So with that, then, I'd like to take the opportunity just to feel into what Halloween and Thanksgiving mean for you. And I believe Vesna has a wonderful song to lead us into meditation.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there, and in the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there.
And God is truly here, present to us. I invite you just to take in a deep breath into your heart space, feeling it into it. And as you breathe in deeply, even deeper than is comfortable, even a little more. And when you can't breathe in anymore and you just know that that's as much as you can possibly take in, pause and feel that overfullness. And then allow yourself the freedom of release. And sigh and let go. Exhale. Feel that emptiness, the relief of having that space in your lungs. And allow your breath to return to the gentle ebb and flow, holding on to the awareness of the wonderful blessings that come with taking in and letting go. Feeling into this wonderful Thanksgiving Halloween season. Just opening your heart to what the blessings and messages are for you. And I invite you now to take into the silence, being open to what Spirit has to share with you as you notice the ebb and flow of taking in and letting go. The silence, the stillness, that pure potential. This is one of the great things that is truly celebrated in this holy Halloween season. And balancing that with the doingness. Figuring out where our balance is. Trusting our own process and having compassion for us, for ourselves and everyone else in their expressions. Acknowledging the things that we would label as monster and sawabona-ing them. And by that I mean just honoring them for what they are and knowing that they too are a part of the one great wholeness. Part of this silence, part of this stillness. And loving gratitude for each and every one of us, for the wholeness, for all expressions of it. We are truly, truly grateful. In loving gratitude, amen.
Thank you, Sheila. As always, your talks always give me something, always give me food for thought. And now I have a new verb, sawabonai. I love it so much. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of Unity York Region to thank everyone in our community for your continued support. You have given from your hearts, and you've allowed that love to flow through you and into our community so that we can continue to serve you and the world. So because of that, we are completely self-supporting, 100% funded by the generous love offerings of our community. This allows us to do what we do. So thank you. And for those new to the community, you are can also give by either sending us an e-transfer. We have a link on our website and in our newsletter that you can do it online, or you can do the old-fashioned way, snail mail. The address there to our mailbox is on the screen. It's also on our newsletter and on our webpage. So if we'd like to place our hands on our hearts as we bless our love offerings, and repeat after me, or please recite with me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. God is my source. Thank you, God.
My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes, yes, as the universe says yes.
And before we pray the prayer for protection, I'd like to take this moment to envision, if you can share this vision with me, and enfold the earth and all of its inhabitants in peace, love, wholeness, and light. And if we can pray together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now, with every step I take. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And if we can have Robin, the head of our prayer chaplaincy, recite the go forth blessing.
We are now surrounded and enfolded by the pure white light of Spirit. Nothing but good shall come to us, and only good shall go from us. Go forth in peace, love, and radiant joy. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Have yourselves a blessed week.